Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Quantum Soundtrack Part 3. My name is Sophia, and I'm going to be your host today. We are so excited to have you all here with us. If you are joining one of our learning sessions for the first time, welcome. And if you are joining us again, welcome back. Would love for everybody to share in the chat where you're joining from. We often have people from all over the world, and it means the world to us to be able to connect in this sense of community and to enhance and elevate our practice together. Now, in part 1 and 2 of the Quantum Soundtrack, we dove into the role of music on brain coherence and the role of music on heart coherence. And now that we've really kind of understand and primed our brain for the way that music can impact and influence our daily lives, this session is going to be how to actually create and implement your own music program for transformation. So we have a really wonderful session in store for you today, and I'm also joined by some lovely guests. I am here with award-winning producer, composer, and author Barry Goldstein, as well as the wonderful Rose Kayola, who is the chairwoman of Give to Give. Now, if you missed part 1 or part 2, no need to worry. Those sessions are up on our YouTube channel, and we're also going to spend the first few minutes of today's sessions recapping the main lessons from those. So I will send the link to those in the chat if you want to check them out after this, but no worries if you weren't able to make it to those sessions. So I wanted to take you through a little bit of how today is going to go before passing it over to our wonderful guests to get this session started. Like I said, Barry and Rose are going to take us through a recap of the role of music on brain coherence and the role of music on heart coherence. And after that is done, we are going to go into actually how to create and implement your own music program for transformation. Now, what that's going to look like is Barry is going to take us through a program for morning, midday, and evening with tools for each time of day that help us prime our brain and start our day off on a good note, recenter and realign in the middle of the day, and integrate and wind down at the evening. So it's a step-by-step program that you can take into your daily life to really utilize and use music as a way to enhance your existing meditation practice and to add to it. We got a little bit of a preview of some of the tools that we're going to be going over today, and I am sure that you guys are just going to get so much out of it, and that it's just going to be a beautiful complement for the existing tools that you utilize in your life. Now, without further ado, I would really love to pass it over to Rose and Barry, who are going to get us started. Rose.
Thank you, Sophia. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us for session 3 with Barry Goldstein and the Power of Music. So excited to be here today and to take you through our final session. Barry, welcome, welcome, welcome. You know how much we love you. We have introduced you and your journey, your amazing journey through music. We talked about how music influences our different states of consciousness. We talked about how breathing to and with music, letting the analytical mind go and generating coherence between the body and the brain. We covered how much music helps in so many physical and emotional ailments and restrictions. We talked about how the heart and brain coherence synchronizes and how to achieve different states of awareness and consciousness. You gave us tips on how to find the rhythm that's best for you, whether it's through binaural beats or chanting. You talked to us about finding the state of being that suits you and how it connects you. And of course, all your incredible music, the material that you've published, the books that you have written, and this amazing, amazing opportunity that you have given our audience. We are here now for session 3, where you're going to tie it all together and help us create a practice of our own. So welcome, Barry.
Wow, we've done all that. It seems like we've covered a bunch, yeah. And I'm excited for session 3, which is really geared towards implementation and becoming what I call the DJ of your own life. And so just as a DJ can program the energy of a specific event, like think about a wedding where a DJ kind of comes in and initially, you're playing soft music so people can talk and feel safe and get to know each other. And then the energy amplifies a little bit when you walk into the next room where the wedding is going to be held. And so he adds instruments and he layers it a little bit more so you can feel the energy moving, or she, it could be a female DJ as well. And then when you move into the actual event and the bride and groom are in the room, you can feel the energy lift and the music changes. And then the father dances with the bride and everyone's emotions are moved through that. And then during dinner, the music again comes down so people can talk and get to know each other even more. And then all of a sudden, the music is amplified, everybody is up and dancing, and the party's on. So these things are not random. It's based on the DJ tapping into the energy of the people that are there. Imagine if you applied that energy in your life and you became the DJ of your own life and literally could navigate the energy in your day to where you wanted to go. And I think a lot of us understand the power of music as art and entertainment. We've all had powerful experiences where music has affected us in a profound way. But the next step is really taking all of this information that we've talked about and literally beginning to utilize it in your life. And this is the difference between the intelligence of the brain and the intelligence of the heart. So we've acquired a lot of facts and a lot of tools to use, and really it's moving it and combining it with the heart, which is all about taking knowledge and turning it into wisdom and into second nature and into intuition, so we can really tap into that during our day and falling back in love with music. And that's really what it's about, is not just using music incidentally, but imagine falling in love with it again in your life. And for me, that's what all of these sessions are about. And music, you may have seen me posted on Instagram yesterday, but music is not just something that happens to you. Music is something that's happening in you. So that's where I like to just start the session, before we even start getting into the information. It's early morning here for me, so I'm just going to include you in my practice. And what I would normally be doing to start my day is connecting with my heart. And I call this your internal symphony, the sounds that are going on in your physical body, your heartbeat, your breath, your sigh. These are all ways that we communicate with our own unique vibration. So although we all have a heartbeat, we all have a breath, we all have a sigh, yours is unique to you. And Rose, this is for all of us. So you have your own unique, what I call your heart code. And that's your vibration that you can always come back home to no matter what's going on in your day. Your heartbeat is different than anybody else's. So although we're doing this to start off the session, you could do this at any time in your day. And I call this the sacred heart breathing process. So I think we also tend to kind of oversaturate, the use of just placing our hands on our heart. And without bringing an intention for that is, we can really lose the fact that we are touching something very sacred when we place our hands on our heart. So imagine for a moment that someone that you love is close to you and you ask them, would it be okay if I place my hand on your heart? Think about that and how sacred that is for someone to let you into their space and to actually place your hand on their heart. And that's really the energy of how you touch your own heart. Ask yourself, would it be okay if I place my hands here? And when you do that, you're inviting in that you're not just placing your hands on your heart, that this is your sacred center. So I invite you to do that with me now. All of you who are listening, just place your hands on your heart and close your eyes for a moment and thank yourself for being here in this moment. And just as you place your hands on your heart, connect to your own unique vibration. Allow yourself to listen to your heartbeat, and to feel your heartbeat. Good. And bring in the awareness of something that you love. It could be a person, a place in nature. It could be a pet. It could be anything. And just bring that in to your heart as you breathe it in to your being. So breathe it in, breathe it into your heart. And as you exhale it, send it to every cell in your body. Just see this loving energy moving to anywhere that it needs to go. There's nothing that you have to do. Just let your breath and your intuition guide you. And on the next breath in, bring it in as someone hugging you and just giving yourself that energy. So instead of taking a breath in, give yourself a breath in. This breath is a gift to you today from the divine, and bring that breath into your heart. And again, send it out to every cell in your body. And you might feel your heart space expanding. You're beginning a conversation with your heart. You're not just placing your hands on your heart. You're beginning to have this communication with your heart. This is where the divine lives, and starting out your day, bringing in this connection, this information you might be receiving. And just give yourself a big breath in through your heart, sending it out to every cell in your body, and release it. Good. And just set an intention for yourself for this session. What would you like to see occur? Where are you starting now? Where would you like to end up? And just, again, bring your awareness on your heartbeat, on your own unique vibration as your hands touch your heart, and just set your intention. Beautiful. Now bring that intention in as you give yourself another big breath in. And on the breath out, we're just going to send that intention out into the field. On the count of 1, 2, 3. Just sending that out, our intentions together. And then just bring in a breath of gratitude for being here today. Whatever you had to do and place on pause to be here, just give yourself that big breath in and a big sigh out. And that sigh out is a communication from your soul that everything's going to be okay. No matter what's going on in your life, you can always come back to your own unique vibration. You can always have this connection, this sacred heart breathing process to come back home to the heart at any time in your day. And you can move your toes around a little bit. You can move your hands around a little bit. Stretch your shoulders if you need to, and just come back into the room.
I could stay there for a few more hours.
Right? And that's really the idea, that it doesn't take long to come back into your heart. And that's really the essence of heart coherence, is to deepen that connection, that this is a conversation that happens. It's not just us, creating intentions and sending them out. But the universe and the divine has a conversation back with us as well, and we receive information as well. And this gives us the opportunity, when at the beginning of our day, or any place in your day, if you feel like your energy's been drained during the day, or you feel like you need to wind down and sleep, which we'll be talking more about, that you can always come back to this center point. And it's not a coincidence that the heart is our center, our of all of our energy centers. It's the center of our energy centers. This is really, when we talk about being heart centered, right? It really in the middle of all of this energy flow that comes. And when we clear our energy in our lower three energy centers, we clear our energy in our upper three energy centers, it creates this divine connection to our heart. And I'll be talking more about that today as well. But really, this is where heart coherence starts off, is getting to know our hearts better. And the only
interrupt
way
you
we
for
do
a
that is
moment.
by this conversation.
Barry, I just have to say, and Sophia, I want to ask you if you had the same experience. As you were talking and, connecting us to our hearts, when I first placed my hands on my chest, I could feel my heart beating. But the more I journeyed with you and your voice, and you took me down further, I could feel it more and more. And right towards the end, before I opened my eyes, it was like a real ba-boom, ba-boom. It was just so strong and powerful, and completely different from
Mm.
when I first placed my hands on my heart. And the end of that, it was just so powerful and energetic. Sophia, did you feel that?
Yes, I had the same experience of like feeling my hands on my heart and feeling my heart, and then I could almost feel like the blood pumping in my body and like the heart expanding and really like in tune with your voice. Just I don't think that like you said, I'm not always that aware. It's like we put our hands on our chest, but it's never like inviting it in and being like, I'm going to honor my heart as if I was placing my hands on the heart of a friend, and really taking it with that intention. And from that angle, just connecting with your voice and that intention, it's like, shoo, like zone me right in.
Awesome. Yeah, and I love that word that you use, Sophia, invitation, and really that's what it is. It's an invitation to start our day with the divine. And this is a process that I do, like before I place my hands on that keyboard. So for those of you watching and you wonder how, the music is created as well, that I want to be clear. I want to be a clear vessel for this energy to come in. And it's a collaboration with the divine. And the best way to do that is to invite the divine in. And Rose, as you said, you begin to know your own vibration. And as you said, you experience your heartbeat as something very powerful. And so you start to identify like, wow, this is my heartbeat. This is my unique code that I have within my physical body that's beating. It's not just a concept. And so when something happens in your day and you're pulled out of that connection, because there are challenges that happen in our day, that it's like when you go away, and you're in a hotel, and initially like it's kind of cool with this new environment, of sleeping in an unfamiliar place. It's exciting, and that's how your day is. There's unfamiliar things that happen to you, and it's exciting. But coming home to your heart is like when you get home in your own bed, right? And you get under your own covers, right? There's nothing like that, the coming home to your own space. And that's what this heart song breathing process is. It's coming back to your own space and your own unique vibration. So that is really a great point for us to kind of step off onto and to begin this conversation, because you can't have any other conversation in your day unless you're having an intimate conversation with yourself. It doesn't carry as much meaning. So this is kind of what we talked about in our initial quantum soundtrack part one, was about heart coherence. And we know through the studies and the research that when we move to these emotions of gratitude, kindness, and compassion, that our heart rhythms beat in a more orderly way. And so that internal music that we just connected to is a big part of it. And connecting to gratitude is where I kind of took you through and really sending it to every cell in your body. So the internal music is the first step in connecting with heart coherence, but music can, again, amplify that process, the music that we listen to. And we have the ability to synchronize to different types of music to bring our heart and to amplify those smooth, orderly rhythms. And that's really what Quantum 1 was about. Quantum 2 was about the brain and how do we target specific states that we want to be in during our day. Like we might want to start off in a relaxed state, but you might want to move more into a focused and attentive state, and you would be targeting beta brainwave states in doing that. And at night you want to wind down and moving to more into bridging your brain, which we'll talk about later, and slowing down. And there are ways to do that, as you discussed, Rose, with binaural beats. There are ways to do that with chanting and mantra, and also just quieting our mind through meditation allows us to move into those more coherent states. So that's an overview, and we dived really deep into it. So I invite you to check out those videos. This is really like a course in itself, a 3-part course that you can access at any time through Give to Give. And so, moving more into how do we apply that in our lives, Quantum Soundtrack 1, Quantum Soundtrack 2, because knowledge is great, but without it becoming a program, how can it create change? And that's really the difference, between using music to, to experience something through art and entertainment and having a great effect, on our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. But to create transformation, we really have to put that into some order and to tapping into it on a daily basis. And that is where we can create a program with it. So just as we nourish ourselves with food 3 times a day, we can nourish ourselves with music and sound and vibration. So before I delve deep into that, Rose, I just want to ask you if there's any other questions that you have or insights. I want to make this not just about me giving a program, but also, if you see ways to implement it, or you want to talk about anything else, let me know.
I mean, I'm really curious and anxious to create my whole morning, midday, and evening routine. I'm just super excited about, I've learned so much. You've taught so much, not just to me, but to so many of our listeners and the world. I mean, you just have this amazing gift of connecting this all. And I'm just so enamored with what we just did now, and I'm really looking forward to creating this practice of and taking it forward. So I'm ready when you are.
Okay, awesome. Just feel free to jump in, and Sophia too, if you have any questions or insights. This is a dynamic event where we feed off each other's energy and also the group energy as well. I'm always kind of tapping in and feeling the group energy. I don't really have anything planned or any slides. I'm just kind of going here by what I'm getting as well. And, this is for me, and for those of you who didn't tune into Quantum, 1 and 2, for me, this was all an experiment. And I've basically utilized all these tools on myself. So I was my own guinea pig with this before I even started doing this kind of music that you hear and that I've shared. And you've heard in a lot of the meditations with Dr. Joe. I was a rock musician. I was producing pop. I was producing hip hop in New York City. And my own stresses really led me to experiment with really the opposite of what I was doing, which was spending very detailed amounts of hours to create a 5-minute song in the pop world. I started taking journeys of 1 hour long where I just let spirit move through me. And that's how I worked with my own stresses and my own anxieties to create this type of music. And I was targeting my heart at 60 beats per minute, which I discussed, which is where our heart is at a relaxed state. And that's really where this all started for me, and then rippled out, into the world, and working with Dr. Joe and collaborating with a lot of pioneers in neuroscience, as well as people in New Thought and the transformative world. And these tools worked on me first. And that's really led me to write a book about this called The Secret Language of the Heart, which Dr. Joe wrote the foreword to. And a lot of these tools that I'm going to be talking about are actually in that book. And I guide you through a lot of research and a lot of ways to implement this into your day. And so again, 3 times a day, just think of it like your meals. Where morning, when we start our day, for sound, you're breaking the fast of not hearing anything for 8 hours, right? So I always ask myself, how do I want to break that fast? Just like you want to ask yourself, what do I want to put into my body to nourish myself for breakfast? What do I want to put into my body, my physical body, my mental body, my emotional, my spiritual, musically, to start my day? And so a great way to start is by creating a gratitude playlist. So for those of you who start your day in a gratitude practice, this is a way to do it sonically. And I think the easiest way to start is with 3 songs, because it doesn't take a lot of your time during your day, right? To start that in about 15 minutes, you can really tap into and really set your day off the way that you want to. So what are 3 songs that are going to take you to a place of gratitude to begin your day? And it doesn't have to be just, new age music or meditative music. Like my 3-song playlist. Yes.
Music that makes you happy, that you just want to like dance to, because sometimes I'll play something in the morning and just it makes me happy, and I'm dancing around my room as I'm getting dressed and putting my makeup on.
Can you show us that, or
next session?
All right.
Next session.
No,
I
but
said surgery 2 days ago, so no dancing right now, but the next session.
yeah, but absolutely. That's the whole idea, really, is that you're the DJ, right? So what's going on in your morning that you need to be cognizant of is really where you want to ask yourself. Music's a bridge, right? So it takes us from one place to another. So you ask yourself, Rose, where am I now? Where do I want to go this morning? And we schedule everything into our day. Why don't we schedule our music in? So if you look at your day and you might say, wow, I've got like a really high energy meeting this morning. I don't want to start my day in a meditative way. Or maybe you want that to be the 3rd song in your playlist. So first maybe you move into a more connected heart state where you're listening to something beautiful to just connect that space. So I'll give you an example. So my 3-song playlist is the first one I play is the Heart Codes, which I'm going to be using for another process. So this is an album that I created specifically to connect into a more coherent heart state and to explore the heart and to open that heart space. So I'll listen to that for 5 minutes. Then I'll listen to Louis Armstrong, What a Wonderful World. Right. So that's my 2nd song in my playlist. And like Rose, like I want to step into my day and have a little fun. So Sly and the Family Stone, Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself. Right. And so that's a 3-song playlist with very diverse, different types of music. And I think that for me, that's a great way to start my day, in 15 minutes. That really kind of creates a mood and emotion for my day. It creates a chalice for my day. So I think of it on my schedule, I have a list of things to do, but my music helps me tap into things to be, right? And heart codes, I want to be more compassionate. I want to be more kind when I'm tapping into that first song. The second one is I want to approach the world in a way that it's delivering everything into my state of being for me. It's a wonderful world. I don't want to start off, feeling that the world is working against me. It's working with me. And so in that third one, it taps me into activating all that. So this is just my process. You might want to listen to 3 completely upbeat songs. And that starts your day in the space of gratitude and moves you into that coherent way of being. So that's a great way to start your day. Commit to having a 3-song playlist. And again, it's a commitment, it's a program. I recommend that you start this program committing to doing this for at least 90 days. 3, connecting with music 3 times of your day. So I'm going to give you different ways to do that. You can do it through a gratitude playlist. You can also do it through a breathing process that kind of amplifies and even takes the heart song, the sacred process that we did at the beginning, the sacred heart song breathing process, and it takes it to another level. And I call this the heart song breathing process. So the first one we did was the sacred heart process. And this one is a 3-breath process that I'm going to go through with you that actually connects you even deeper to having that conversation. And I created this process because I used to start my day off with this, 3-song playlist, and I was in a perfect state. This is when I lived in New York, Rose. I created this process because I lived on 15th Street in Chelsea, and I would walk up 8th Avenue to my recording studio, completely walking out of my door, totally zenned out. And as you know, in New York, the environment changes pretty rapidly from that peaceful state into an array of smells going on. I won't always say that they're always pleasant, but some of them are, walking by bakeries and other things, but you're also, going through a lot of different smells and a lot of different sounds, that happen in your day that can take you out of this, sirens that are going on and people's conversations on their phone. And all of a sudden, if you're empathic like I am, you're picking up on all these different energies. So what started out really zen and centered, by the time I walked up 15 blocks to my studio, I was not in the same space. And how can I reconnect?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Like in the middle of the day, right? Like, stage 2, part 2, how do you reconnect when you're already, somewhat stressed out because of whatever is going on in your environment?
Right. Great question. And, so we're constantly having to come back. There are constantly things that pull us out, and we're constantly picking up on other people's energy. So I always think of energy coming in and out of our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies in 3 different ways, right? We bring in energy through the earth as we're walking, as we're connecting to our physical, areas where we're connecting with our feet, to the planet. So we bring the breath in through the bottom of our feet is one of the ways. The second way is bringing it in through the top of our head, right? And as we're connecting to the field, as we walk through our day, we want to stay into that space of awareness where we are grounded and connected, we are nurtured, we are safe, and we are connected to the Divine Mother is the energy that we bring in when we bring a breath in through the bottom of our feet to our heart, which is the first breath in the heart song breathing process. You're taking a big breath in through the bottom of your feet, and maybe let's just do it and I'll explain the breath as we go. So you place your hands on your heart and you bring a big breath in through the bottom of your feet all the way up to your heart, and you release it. So again, when we're bringing that breath in, it's with the intention that you are connecting to the Divine Mother. You're connecting to feeling nurtured, to feeling supported, grounded in your steps. and being connected to abundance. So now bring that in with intention that you're connecting with this divine feminine energy of being nurtured through your day and supported. And bring that breath in through the bottom of your feet, all the way up to your heart. And release it. So the second breath is all about connecting to the Father energy. So the divine Father connects us with the energy of the heavens. And it also connects us to releasing control and bringing in guidance with us. That it's not only us that we walk with in our day, but we walk with the divine. We walk with our ancestors. We walk with our angels. We walk with the masters in our day. And as you connect with this field of unlimited energy, you are basically opening this chalice of energy by bringing a breath in through the top of your head. And let's do that together. Bring a breath in from the field and bring it all the way to your heart and release it. Good. And you might feel that energy opening up. You might feel sensations either on the bottom of your feet or on the top of your head, or a tingling sensation. And that's great. It's just energy opening up and moving into your day. And then the third breath happens when you integrate this energy in your heart. So again, your heart is your center. It takes the energy of the divine feminine through the bottom of your feet and the divine energy of the Father and connecting to the field. And it integrates that with the perfect balance of masculine and feminine energy into your heart. So just bring that breath in through your heart and the breath out through your heart. Good. And that is the 3-breath process. And I'm going to take you through that in a moment for about 5 minutes. And we are going to do that with the heart codes, which is music that's been designed specifically to connect with your heart. But you might have feel that. And what happens is, as you connect with the bottom of your feet, like if you think about that, this is your heart, right? And this is your center point. And it creates a chalice of energy that's like a pyramid that goes down, right, and into the earth. So there's basically this energy that opens up because the bottom of that energy is open and expansive. And it's a pyramid of energy that opens up the space to connect to the Divine Mother. If you think of that second breath, it's a second point, and it has a second pyramid that opens up the other way with that open platform at the bottom of the pyramid is now connected to the Divine Father. So these two pyramids now create one above and one below. It creates this X almost where the heart is the intersection. And when we begin this pattern of breathing below, above, and centered, it creates an activation where that energy begins to move in a figure 8 of infinite flow that actually happens, that moves through your heart at the intersection point. And that energy, you'll feel it. It just begins this beautiful flow of energy that you're going to feel in the heart song breathing process. So again, we're taking and we are now expanding the teaching to take the breath that you did just with the internal symphony, and we're utilizing with music that's going to target opening and expanding it even more. And that's the heart song breathing process. So I'm going to actually place my headphones on. And any questions or comments before
Honestly,
we start?
it's just really funny that you mentioned that, the figure 8, because as I was breathing, when you just took us through that example, I actually I felt that, I saw that figure 8 happening with the flow of the breath and how it was going into the heart, out of the heart, out. And you just confirmed it. So thank you. Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, a lot of these things happen naturally, you know, and as I said, it was an experiment. These are things that I felt when I began to do it, and I got information of actually what was happening in this process when I was creating it. So awesome. And I'm sure other of you may have had a similar experience with that, or have had your own unique experience with it. So I'm going to take you through the process. There's nothing that you have to do except allow yourself to receive with it and follow my directions with it. And it's only going to take about 5 minutes. And um, you can just start by closing your eyes. As soon as we close our eyes, we are beginning to create alpha brainwaves and slowing our brainwaves down. It allows us the opportunity to empty our mind out a little bit more. So close your eyes, place your hands on your heart. It might take me a minute to transition before you hear the music begin. And just allow yourself to go inward and set your space. So just begin by giving yourself a big breath in through your heart and a big breath out through your heart. Just allowing your heart field to expand and connect with it. Feeling your own unique vibration, your own heart code. The first breath we'll bring in is going to be from the bottom of our feet. So having your feet planted on the floor, feeling the vibration of the earth below you, feeling supported, connecting with the energy of the divine feminine, feeling nurtured and supported. Just bring that breath through the bottom of your feet, all the way up through your lower body to your heart. And then release it through your heart with a powerful sigh out. Beautiful. The second breath, we'll be bringing in through the top of our head. We're bringing in the energy of the Divine Father, connecting us to the heavens, to the field, to that unlimited potential of all things in the infinite. And bring that breath in through the top of your head, all the way to your heart, and then release it. And now the third breath will integrate the divine feminine energy and the divine masculine in the heart space. And just bring that breath in through your heart and release the breath out through your heart. Beautiful. And just feel that energetic flow moving through the physical body, expanding your energy. Every breath out that you take releases lower vibrational energy that you don't want to hold through your day. And again, first breath, bringing it in through the bottom of your feet, connecting to the earth. You are grounded in your mission and your passion, whatever it is you share in the world, bring that in through the bottom of your feet and release it through your heart. The second breath in, we're connecting to the Father energy, the Divine Father, connecting to the unlimited field. And you're going to release control of any situations that you have been holding on to too tightly as you breathe out. So bring that big breath in through the top of your head, connecting to the field, and giving that situation up. Knowing you are divinely guided in your day. And the third breath in, bringing it in and integrating it through your heart. Bring that breath in through the heart. And then release the breath out through the heart. Beautiful. And the next round, I'm going to allow you to do that on your own. 3 breaths, one through the bottom of your feet, the next through the top of your head, and the next through the heart. So just connect with your space and just do this on your own. And one more last round together. Just bring that breath in through the bottom of your feet, all the way up to your heart. And release it. A breath in through the top of your head, all the way to your heart. And release it. And the breath in through the heart. And out through your heart. And then you can just move your feet around a little bit, feeling that connection still in the lower part of your body with the earth. You can move your hands and fingers around, still feeling that connection to the field. And bringing that into your heart. And then the heart being the perfect balance of that energy and integrating the divine feminine and the divine masculine energy. And I invite you to keep that connection during the rest of the session together. Can you keep that awareness, knowing that you're connected below and above? Nothing you have to think about, but just allow yourself to feel these chalices of energy opened and integrating in your heart. And so you can do this on your own throughout your day. Whenever you feel like you need to cleanse your energy, I think of this, Rose, as like a vibrational shower almost, where you're cleansing your energy, you're coming back to you and you're coming back to your connection. So,
I'm a little spacey right now, but wow, that was really amazing. And I love having the ability to do that. And it's so easy. And it's just 5 minutes.
yeah. And that's it. We need easy, accessible tools to plug into our day. These are things they don't teach us in school, right? Imagine if they did this, right, with kids every day in our classrooms, and just for 5 minutes, give them the ability to listen to their own hearts and to experience their own uniqueness, but also know that they are connected and supported in the world, So these are all things that, we are, I'll say, we're working on bringing this into consciousness, and this is the work that we do and that we share in the world. And this is what Give to Give is about as well, right? You have to give to yourself to give to the world, and it starts with us. So that's a great way to start your day. That's the second exercise. And the third way to do that in your day, if you don't have even 5 minutes, which I love the expression of, well, if you don't have 20 minutes to meditate, then you need an hour to meditate, because we should have 5 minutes that we can give ourselves, or 15 minutes that we can give ourselves in our day. But if you don't, I say start your day with a happy song. So one song that makes you happy, in your day. So mine is the Jackson 5, the Love You Save. Like, I put that song on and I can not be cranky, in the morning, or start my day in a cranky way. So, and you might even want to share that in the chat, like, what's your happy song? And it creates great conversations. And when you share that, in groups, then now you have 128 happy songs, right, that you have at your access. And it's have a happy song party with your friends, where you're all just playing each other your happy songs.
Okay.
So,
I
yeah.
mean, Barry, you can even, if you're reading some of these comments that are popping up, it's late morning or early morning for most people, around, we have people around the world here joining us today. And just reading some of these comments, like, wow, I really needed that. Wow, my life has changed. Oh my gosh, that's so yummy. I'm just reading all of these. And look, I mean, everyone has just really immersed it and embraced it. And it's great to see some of this feedback.
Well, awesome. I'm not reading them, so thank you for sharing. Thank you
I
for
think
sharing
that's
that.
beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm glad that you're getting benefit from that. And um, I'm going to move forward to how do we plug in some tools for the afternoon, because it's right. It's a different meal, right? It's different musical nourishment in the middle of your day. And just like lunch, like, why are we eating lunch? When we're eating lunch, we're eating lunch to replenish our energy, to reintegrate some of our day, right? And we are revitalizing ourselves in the middle of the day. So, before you nourish yourself musically during lunch, like, what is it that you need in your day right now? Like, you might have had a pretty tough morning and some challenges, and you might want to move some energy, or you might want to, listen to some relaxing music and move to a more centered state. But for me, I'm in this room a lot of time, and during COVID, I was in this room even more, and I remember thinking to myself, "Oh my God, I like really need to shift my environment." And during COVID, Rose, for me, things got like a lot busier. It wasn't like less work. Like, I know that a lot of people had more time to reflect. And for us, and I'll share this with you, in the community, and working with Dr. Joe, it was a time like, wow, how can we bring more tools to people during this time and connect the community in a different way without doing live events? So literally, we created a lot of meditations during that time and a lot of ways for people to connect. So I was really, really busy and in an unbelievable flow state of creation during that. But I was in this room a lot of time, and I'm like, wow, how do I shift out of this environment without leaving? Because we were quarantined.
Right.
So how do I create something that feels very limited and move it into a more expansive state? So I came up with this idea of a 5-minute musical vacation. Like, what would happen if I played a piece of music that takes me to another part of the world? So I created a piece of music with Spanish influences because I love Latin music, and combined it with ambient tones and textures. And I started taking these 5-minute journeys where I would incorporate my 5 senses. So closing my eyes, picturing myself someplace else, and using a multi-sensory experience to literally take me out of my environment. So I'm going to take you through this process. I call it the 5-minute musical vacation. And literally, we're going to take ourselves wherever you are right now. We're going to transport ourselves to someplace else. So I'm just going to kind of dive into that with you. It might take me a minute to start it out. And so you can, again, if you want to just close your eyes, place your hands on your heart, and you'll hear the music begin very shortly.
This is so much fun.
Agreed.
I think I'm going to be flying high the rest of the day. I'm going to listen to this recording over and over.
All right, here we go. So take a moment and give yourself a big breath in. Bring it through the heart, and then just breathe it out. And just give yourself permission to take a journey with me on a sound adventure for the next 5 minutes. And the next big breath in. Just let go of your surroundings as you breathe out. And bring your awareness to a sense of seeing something. In this moment, where are you transported to? Could be a foreign land, could be the ocean, could be the mountains, it could be a lively or busy marketplace, and just allow yourself to see that. Taking in your surroundings. And now take a moment to tap into the sense of hearing. What is it you're hearing? It could be an ocean breeze. It could be someone's voice. Just allow yourself to hear that now. Beautiful. And now tapping into the sense of smell. What are the aromas around you? It could be the perfume of a person that you're with. It could be the scent of the sea air or the mountain breeze. Just allow yourself to smell that now. And now bring your awareness to the sense of taste. What are the foods you're eating? Or maybe a foreign tea, or a glass of wine. Allow yourself to taste that now. And now allow yourself to feel something. It might be the fabric, clothing that you're wearing. It might be the sand underneath your feet. It might be the ocean breeze that you feel against your skin. So allow yourself to feel that. And now just feeling all of your senses stimulated. Feeling yourself revitalized. Feeling yourself transported to another state of being. And just breathe that in through your heart. Breathe it out through your heart. And before you open your eyes, just bring in a thank you for the space that you're opening your eyes into. A sense of being thankful that you are supported in the environment that you're in. And just gently move your toes and feet around a little bit. Move your hands and fingers around. You can stretch out if you want to. And you can feel yourself coming back into the room.
Was anyone else on a beach in Brazil?
I was on a beach. I don't know if I was in Brazil, but I was definitely on a beach, and it was dusk. And the
That,
sun was just cooling off. It was hot, and it was just
mm,
cooling off. But I really felt that one like in my cells. I really felt like my cells plumping up throughout my entire body as I was breathing, listening to that music.
I agree. It's amazing how it transports you there. It's like yeah, it's really powerful, Barry.
Beautiful. Yeah, and it doesn't take long, right? If you know, we just allow ourselves the time. That was literally 5 minutes. And you know, it was very powerful for me to do that during that time span. And I continue to do that. And I play around a lot with music on YouTube as well. Like I'll type in like music from, you know, music from the Orient or music from Jamaica, you know, and sometimes it's, you know, listening to music without words and just experimenting. Just allow yourself to play with the energy of it. It doesn't have to be the same piece like every day. And you just go through your senses, the different senses. And that's really where the power is, you know, of really being transported, is in that multi-sensory experience that's going on, because the mind doesn't really know the difference between thinking about it and being there, but it takes that additional stimulation to actually start to produce those hormones that are beneficial to the experience. You know, so when we're doing that, we're producing dopamine in our body. We're producing less cortisol, the stress hormones. And some of you might have been producing oxytocin and feeling that love in that area, whatever it is. We can induce our body and the pharmacy of beneficial neurotransmitters that can actually help revitalize us during our day. So that's a great thing to do for lunchtime. Another great thing to do that shows a lot of studies behind it is getting up and dancing and moving around. So, you know, get up, move out again in your environment to move the energy. And the studies show that that can improve cognitive skills. It can improve focus. Just get up and move for 5 minutes. I think Rose was saying that, she likes to get up and to dance. So, I was saying dance like nobody's watching. So great way for us to express ourselves, connect with your own energy. You probably have your own signature dance moves, that are a reflection of you. I might not want to show you that, Rose. It might not be that pleasant for some of you to see my dance moves. So my wife will tell you that, but I like them anyway. So anyway, that is another great way to do something in the middle of your day. And you might have your own sound practices that you do as well, but that you love to do. Like I also love to listen to Diva Primal and to chant in the middle of my day. Or if you have a drum, that's a great way to move energy and you like drumming. That is a great way to move back into sync with yourself. And again, we talked about that a little bit in the Quantum 2, that drums can actually move your heart and brain into synchronization. So you're moving back into the heartbeat of you and the universe when you pick up a drum, but you're also, studies show that you're producing more alpha brain waves when you're moving into that trance state. And it could be just a very simple drum beat that that you do to move back into sync. If you work from home, obviously a little bit easier than, taking a drum out in the middle of your office and drumming, but that's why we have different processes that we can do. You can put on those headphones for 5 minutes and take that 5-minute musical vacation, and anywhere in doing that. And that's what I love about it. So great way to integrate your day in the second part of nourishing yourself is morning and afternoon. So any questions, comments about afternoon, or any suggestions on your end?
I mean, I think, again, from reading all of these responses, it's amazing how everyone is just so connected and grateful to have these tools that you're taking. For me, I think the most important or the most challenging part of my day is always transitioning to evening.
Okay.
So, I can get through the stress, and I'm gonna use these practices now to help me in the middle of the day, because there's so much going on for me. But then, when I get home, sometimes I'm just like, I carry it with me, and walking through the door, not always like in the best of moods. And then sometimes I have problems sleeping, and insomnia is always a challenge for me as well. But how do I integrate this now? How can I come home and leave my day behind me?
Right. So I'm going to share this concept with you too, that the first two things that we did help you with that. So by implementing that into your day, you're already preparing yourself. It's a cycle. Think of it as a cycle. There really is no beginning and no ending. It's not just about like sleep. It's how you're managing your energy during your day. And the more that you manage your energy during the day, you stop a cycle where you're having to clear yourself as much as night, right? Because what you do before you go to sleep echoes into how you wake up in the morning. And I think that's a big part of it as well, that we tend to separate, sleep as just one awareness that, okay, I have to do this before sleep to sleep better. But it's really about managing your day to create, a more easily transitional part of your day. So bringing all this awareness in, you're not going to have as much energy to move at night because you started your day in it, you moved your energy in the middle of your day, you rejuvenated yourself. And if you can keep that awareness, and that's why we do walking meditations as well, right? It's the same thing. We want to keep the awareness in our day of being connected to the earth and to the field at the same time. And that's, the heart song breathing process is about. So anytime you're coming off kilter and you need to move back to center, you bring that awareness back. But absolutely, a lot of us, Rose, have that challenge of transitioning at night. And literally 1 out of 3 people now experience some type of insomnia in the world, whether it is, actually the illness of insomnia or just a degree of it where they're not getting to sleep at night, or they can't get to sleep every night. And, I think a big part of it is technology, and technology is awesome. I love technology, and technology helps me in my creative processes, as well as many other things. But coming back to the awareness that the most powerful technologies that we can utilize are us. Music is one of the oldest biohacks, or is the oldest biohack that we have. People have been using it for thousands of years. These are like not new concepts, right? These are ancient technologies of connecting with the heart, that have been done in many different cultures, from indigenous cultures, into African cultures, into many, many different cultures around the world. The heart is a sacred place that we connect to, and connecting with drums, right? And connecting with chanting. These are all thousands and thousands of years old. So it's moving back to the concept that sleep is not just sleep, but it is a sacred place. That when what is sleep for, right? It's to rejuvenate our spirit, our soul, our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies need to be rejuvenated. They need to rest. And we're not going to move into that state of sacredness in high beta brainwave activity, which is where we are, most of us, before sleep. We're looking at our schedule for the next day. We're, going over emails. So we need a time to transition our busy day into restful nights, and to know that this is also a time that the divine is communicating to us. This is where people slow down because they received information and downloads, right? And guidance in their sleep. So it's similar to how we started this, Rose and Sophia, is we started in a sacred way of connecting to our heart space. So doing that at the end of your day as well, and taking a few moments to tap into your heart and touching something sacred, is a great way to start. And to bridge our day into our night, what I would suggest is winding down about an hour before sleep time, is literally shut everything off, an hour before. And it's very Pavlovian, just like you can train a dog to know that it's time to eat by ringing a bell. Eventually, that dog will come to eat food and nourish itself when he hears the bell. So this is your time, this is your bell. An hour before bedtime, put on a piece of music that's going to move you to a more relaxed state. So I suggest the following criteria. Listen to a piece of music at about 60 beats per minute. And we talked about this in both of our quantum soundtracks. So that is targeting the heart at a relaxed state. Research shows that this type of music is going to allow you to entrain, to synchronize your heart. It will slow your breathing down, your respiratory rate will come down, and you just put it on in the background. You don't have to like listen to it and listen to every note. So I have a series called Ambiology, And there are a few pieces in there that I suggest for winding down at night. One is called Ambiology 6. It's called Genesis. And it's really great for moving into that state. Dr. Joe actually used that piece of music for restorative sleep, the meditation. And even before I met Dr. Joe, my wife was using this piece of music in her clinics for insomnia patients. So in studies, it shows that music at 60 beats per minute, music with not a lot of melody going on, because it's going to move us into our more analytical state. You're going to say, wow, I love that melody, or I love this part of the song when it comes on. That's not where you want to be before sleep. A lot of low and slow tones that you can, when you're listening to. So it's really, those frequencies are going to ground you, and it also slows your brain waves down as well, the low and slower frequencies. And putting this on about an hour before bedtime allows you to resynchronize. And I go through a process of really of moving through my day, because I think a lot of us don't get to sleep because we don't process our day. Like, what do you have to be thankful for in your day? Process that. What were the challenges in your day? Is it possible that you learned something by the things that happened to you? Can you be thankful for the lessons that you learned in your day? And this allows you to release some of the energy of your day before you go to sleep. Or else if you don't, and you don't have this wind down process, most of us are so tired by the time we're getting to sleep that it's easy to fall asleep. But a lot of us get up, 3 or 4 hours later, worrying about either something that happened in our day or something that's happening the next day. So processing some of our thoughts and being thankful for them and acknowledging the gifts and challenges in our day gives you some time to do that. And you could do it through journaling while you're listening to that piece of music. Again, create a ritual for yourself. And Rose and I actually met a friend of ours named Barbara Bijou. Actually is an expert in ritual and modern day ritual. And I think that's really what it takes, is creating modern day rituals using ancient awareness. And that's what this really does. It brings in music as a way to wind down and bridge ourselves into sleep. So someone asked, who is Genesis by? So it is by me. And the Ambiology series was created by me as well. And those are really easily found anywhere. So I'm just going to take you through a sample of that, like what music would sound like at the end of your day, so we can end our session together with something that's live and tapping into the group energy. And then I'm going to come back with Rose. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And I'm going to end today's session with an uplifting song for you to move you into an intention for the day. But for the next few moments, I just want to kind of connect the group energy as well, and an awareness that we are moving in a web of people from around the world with us today, that this is a web of consciousness that is being created, that's been created in all three of our quantum soundtracks, that we're not just like here, like learning something, that this is a sacred event as well. And that's why I started it off with connecting to that heart space and in a sacred way. And just the same way, we're going to close a space by tapping into the energy of the group. And I'm going to bring through a composition in the moment. I have no idea what it's going to be or sound like, but I'm just going to tap into us kind of moving, and as if we were going to move into a state where we're integrating our energy before sleep. So just allow yourself to move into that space. Again, you might want to start by placing your hands on your heart. It'll take me a minute to kind of transition into the music, and just allow yourself to receive and integrate the energy for the session today. And for those of you who want to use this, you'll be able to come back to this to utilize this piece of music before sleep to kind of wind you down in your day. And it's only going to be a few minutes. And that's all it will take to move you into that more peaceful state. So here we go. Just place your hands on your heart, close your eyes, and allow yourself to receive. again, just bring a big breath in through the heart. Big breath out. And you can move your feet around a little bit. You can move your hands around. Stretch the shoulders out a little bit. And just feel yourself back in the room.
Beautiful.
And again, imagine just plugging something like that in towards the end of your day. So the end of your day for me, comparing it to the nourishment we bring into our physical body, is kind of like dessert. So I want to have something sweet and nurturing at the end of my day. And so if you have a sweet tooth, this would be like your sonic sweet tooth. I like that. Your sonic sweet tooth. And yeah, utilize that and slow those brain waves down before you go to sleep. So you're transitioning not just from beta and going into delta, but moving through beta into alpha, into theta, and just think of that. You're kind of like going down a staircase gradually into these slower states of being that are going to bring a more sacred evening for you. And you're going to start your day in a different way. Again, that cycle, you're going to start your day in a different way if you're starting it and processing and honoring the day the night before. And that's really the important message, Rose, is that, we might have different challenges. Like some of us might have a challenge waking up in a day more so than going to sleep at night. So it's important to kind of, to check in with your own energy, see what you need, what tools you can plug in musically at different parts of your day. And really, this is just the start. I can go deeper into a music program way more than 3 times a day. Like literally, you can schedule your whole day around music. So it's not just 3 times a day. Use it when you need it. And that's really the key, is like if you were a doctor, what would you be prescribing to yourself at a specific time of the day? And that's why I call this approach acousticeuticals, because just as we have pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals,
That's a
we can
good one.
use, yeah, we can use sound as a low-cost, non-invasive way to move through, not just emotionally and spiritually, but physical challenges in our lives that we're experiencing. Why not try music first? And I'm not saying telling anyone to go off medications or to do anything out of their standard of care, but why not utilize music in conjunction with whatever you're doing in some way?
I'm going to schedule the rest of my day out. I'm going to make sure that's on my calendar, because that's how I build my habits. I put it on my calendar. I make sure I meet those goals, and then it becomes a habit, right? So that I don't need to necessarily write it down anymore, but I love doing it 3 times throughout the day. So it's so super helpful. This has been amazing. I mean, what else can you tell us? Should we know? Should we practice? You've told us a lot already. Sophia will help our audience get this information, access, of course, to your website, to the music that you've created. It's just been such a blessing. Barry, you're a blessing to all of us.
Thank you, Rose, and it's been amazing being here. I'm just going to end this with a song, and I know we're going a little bit over. So for those people who need to do something in their day, they're welcome to. But this way, we'll have it on replay as well if you need it. And this is a song that is called "The Moment," and it's all about how you want to move forward in your life. Is there something that you've been holding back on and maybe not sharing yourself ultimately? Something maybe you've been thinking about too small instead of dreaming big on. And in each moment, the divine is waiting to walk with us and waiting to move into your next phase. And sometimes we're just waiting for the moment to arrive, but it's already here. It's with you right now. And I wrote this song. It was inspired by Wayne Dyer. And I was actually in a conference. And Wayne actually said something that really shot through my being. He said, "Don't die with your music still in you." And at that time, I was producing a lot of other people, but I wanted to and was putting on hold, putting out my own album of singer-songwriter songs because basically I had prioritized everyone else in my life. And in that moment, I realized that it was almost like he was talking to me, and that if I didn't do it in the moment, that it would never be heard. So I committed in that moment to creating this album, and I actually titled the album The Moment. And literally about 6 months after I created the album, I got a call and was asked to open up for Wayne Dyer. And, I'm telling you this because it was a series of events that happened that I would have never imagined. And literally Wayne came out after I performed and he actually rubbed the top of my head. And he had a similar hairstyle than I do. He also shaved his head. And in that moment, I realized that the intention that was created in that room had rippled out, and inspiration had created inspiration. And that's what happens when we hold ourselves back from that. Someone else is not receiving the gift of whatever it is that we're meant to inspire them with. So as I sing this song, set an intention for yourself. What are you ready to move forward with in this moment in your life? What are you ready to commit to? And it might be just creating your own music program. It might be writing your next book. It might be showing up for a loved one in your life that really needs you today. Whatever it is, just tap into that. Allow yourself to receive. Well, I was just waiting for the moment to arrive. I was searching for a sacred sign, but it was right here all the time. And I am here. I am now. I am who I am. Won't waste another second of my life. Won't spend my life waiting for the moment to arrive. 'Cause it's here right now, and it's beautiful. And it was right here all the time. And not a second, not a breath will I let pass through the sands of time. I won't wait for the moment to arrive. Now all of my life I was searching to be free. is in me, and I am love. I am light. I am everything. I'm everything. Won't waste another second of my life. Won't spend my life waiting for that moment to arrive. 'Cause it's here right now, and it's beautiful. It was right here all the time, and not a second, not a breath will I let pass through the sands of time. I won't wait for the moment to arrive. Na 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 na. Won't wait for the moment to arrive. I was just waiting for the moment to arrive. I was searching for a sacred sign, but it was right here all the time. And just breathe that into your heart and breathe it out to your heart, that your moment is here. And just feel that in every cell of your body. One more big breath in together and send it out to every cell in your body. And take that energy that we've created here as a group and let's send it out into the world. So on the count of 3, just let's send that energy out into the world, bring it into your heart. And 1, 2, 3, send it out. And just so thankful for all of you being here. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Rose. Thank you for your whole amazing Give to Give team. And anything that you'd like to close with, feel free to just jump in and let them know what you're doing next or whatever you guys want to share.
Yeah, I mean, first off, I just want to say I am so grateful, Barry, Rose, to have had you both here. The shift that I feel from the beginning of this session to now, I'm like floating on cloud 9, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one. So getting to be here, getting to connect, getting to experience your magic and your gifts firsthand is such a blessing. And it's been a really wonderful morning for us in the US, depending where you are in the world. It's really, truly been very special to have you all here. After this session, I've been sending some info in the chat, and we're going to send everybody an email that's essentially a how-to guide on how to create and implement your own music program for transformation. So you'll get all the information that we went over today laid out in an email, so you can reference it and come back to it and connect with some of the music and the references that Barry made today. So look for that in your inbox. The other thing that I wanted to say is coming up next month, May 16th, we have a learning session that'll be centered on our Veterans Initiative. So we do these learning sessions monthly. They're complementary to our community. They're a way for us to connect, to learn about a topic every month and to either engage in activities like we did today or to do a meditation together. So if you're interested in our work with veterans, in hearing from some of the people that have had impact in this initiative and have experienced the changes of this program, please join us for that. It would be great to have you here. And aside from that, this recording will be posted on our YouTube channel. So I've shared the link to that, and you'll also get that in your inbox as well. So if this made a difference in your day, if this impacted you, please share it with a friend, spread the love. And that's all for this time. So we will see you next time. Barry, Rose, thank you again, and we will see you later.